No, no, it's okay. Yeah. I would request that side halogen lamps to be switched off, this side. Let this be all right. That can be switched off. Good evening, everyone. It is indeed a great pleasure to be here amongst you. And I come here as a link between Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. And this is a historical city. And historical city in the sense our connections goes back to more than 2000 years. Okay. In Tamil Sangam literature, we talk about a place called Land of Nannan. If you go through the Tamil literature, you will never find a land which he has described that you will find in Tamil Nadu, but in Konkan region, you will find the same ditto description. So this is a land of the Nannan. Nannan means a good person. And at that point of time, probably the name of the city, Aurangabad, would have been Malacca. Malacca was the original name of Aurangabad. And the entire Godavari river flows, that is called the Malacca. Then there was a great Tamil emperor in current day Kerala. His name is Cheran Chengutuvan. He wanted to go on a Himalayan expedition, and he had difficulty in crossing the Ganges. And Satvahana king, and there is a place near Aurangabad about 40 kilometers which is called Paitan, and in those days it is called Parishatna. And Parishatna, from Parishatna he sent people and he provided boats for Cheran Chengutuvan to cross the river Ganges. This sort of friendship existed between the people of Tamil Nadu and people of Maharashtra. Then later, you know, the place was called Rajlak and Rajdak and then Kakdi, and then you know the history. I need not explain. So it is a yeoman service Mr. Sunil is doing in this region. It is not an ordinary work, an extraordinary work he is doing. And if Periyar was talking about equality, that equality comes from an ancient book called Tirukkural. Tirukkural was the base for Periyar and others. So along with Jyotira Phule and along with Periyar, Ambedkar, you should also propagate the message of Thiruvalluvar, who said all people who are born in this world are equal. So I would like to gift a book to our organizer, Principal Sunil Wakekar. So let me begin my talk with a very clear declaration. The Dravidian movement has never opposed Hindi as a language. What it opposes is the imposition of Hindi over other languages. A Hindi-speaking citizen is not our enemy. Linguistic domination of a particular state is the real issue. India survives not because of uniformity, but because of diversity. Language is not merely a tool for communication. It carries memory, literature, spirituality, honor and history, humor and collective identity. When a language weakens, an entire civilization weakens. Today, I wish to examine the politics of language and identity in India from Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra through a PowerPoint presentation. So you will have the benefit of reading through the material that I am sharing with you. You can go to the perspective of history, constitutionalism, social justice, federalism, and cultural survival. To understand better, let us understand the historical background of linguistic politics in India. India was never historically a single language civilization. You can go to the next slide. Across centuries, invasions, migrations, trade routes, and cultural exchanges produced remarkable linguistic diversity. Different linguistic traditions evolved simultaneously across the subcontinent. Now look at these pictures. These are the scripts written in Ashokan edicts. So, Emperor Ashoka's inscriptions appeared in multiple languages and scripts including Magadhi Prakriti, Kharosthi, Greek, and Aramaic. This itself demonstrates the fundamental truth: no single language ever ruled the entire India culturally. India historically functioned through plurality, accommodation, and coexistence. Next slide, please. Now let us go to how colonialism led to the rise of linguistic consciousness in India. Under Mughal rule, Persian functioned as an administrative language. British replaced Persian with English, fundamentally restructuring power relations in India. English education created a new bureaucratic elites, new educational hierarchies, new legal systems, and new social inequalities. Access to English education remained concentrated among the upper caste elite who used to consolidate administrative authority. At the same time, English also opened pathways towards modern political thought, constitutionalism, scientific education, and most importantly, international mobility. This contradiction gave birth to linguistic consciousness among the marginalized community. People were asking, who controls administration through language? Because language determines the access to jobs, political participation, education, and social power. Next slide, please. This linguistic consciousness led to the rise of Hindi nationalism. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, language became deeply polarized. Hindi-Urdu controversy in the North India was not simply linguistic, it represented competing cultural and political visions. Supporters of Hindi promoted Devanagari script, Sanskritized vocabulary, and the North Indian Hindu identity. This gradually evolved into a broader political thought, no nation, one language. I repeat, one nation, one language. Hindu nationalism increasingly claimed that Hindi alone should become the national language of India. This project ignored the reality that India consists of multiple linguistic civilizations. Next slide, please. India contains several major linguistic families: Indo-Aryan, Dravidian, Austro-Asiatic, and Tibetan-Burman. Among these language groups, there are major languages such as Bengali, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Tamil, and Telugu. These languages possess literary traditions older than modern Hindi itself. The notable examples are Tamil Sangam literature and the Marathi Bhakti poetry. These literary traditions represent an ancient civilizational tradition completely independent of Sanskritic frameworks. For millions of Indians, language is inseparable from historical memory, regional pride, democratic participation, and cultural belongings. Therefore, attempt at linguistic homogenization naturally generated resistance. Next slide, please. India has a national bird, a national anthem, and a national flag. But India does not have a national language. Part 17 of Constitution deals with the official languages. Accordingly, Hindi is the official language of the Indian Union, and English continues as an associate official language of India. States possess power regarding choice of their own official languages. The 8th schedule originally contained 14 languages. Today, it contains 22 languages. And India has nearly 120 major languages. This reflects the constitutional federalism. We need more and more such constitutional amendments to include more languages into the 8th schedule. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar envisioned a constitution based on accommodation, not on domination. Indian constitution did not create linguistic monarchy. Next slide, please. Let us try to understand Periyar and anti-Hindi agitations. Periyar E.V. Ramasamy viewed Hindi imposition not merely a language issue, but a structural mechanism for domination. He regarded Hindi as a vehicle of Brahminical hegemony, a tool for Aryan cultural expansion, and an instrument of centralized power. Periyar's opposition was never directed towards Hindi-speaking people. His resistance targeted enforced uniformity, cultural centralization, and linguistic hierarchy, and language and caste. Periyar linked politics directly with caste oppression. He argued just as Sanskrit historically functioned as a language of ritual authority that maintained caste hierarchy, Hindi was being groomed to perform a similar role within modern administration as a Trojan horse to establish their hegemony. Thus, in defending the mother tongue becomes synonymous with defending the dignity of a person, rationalism, and social emancipation. Next slide, please. What is Ambedkar's views on language and nationhood? Unlike Periyar's extra-parliamentary resistance, B.R. Ambedkar approached language through constitutional democracy. In Thoughts on Language States, Ambedkar strongly supported linguistic reorganization. His reasoning was, democracy works effectively only when the administration functions in a language understood by the people. Otherwise, citizens become alienated, bureaucracy becomes inaccessible, and democracy weakens. Next slide, please. While many nationalists condemn English, a colonial, Ambedkar saw it differently. He viewed English as a caste-neutral language. English carried no traditional ritual hierarchy. Ambedkar viewed English as a gateway to modern language. It connects the oppressed community to science, communication, enlightenment thoughts, global discourse, and instrument for social mobility. English allowed marginalized community to bypass traditional gatekeepers of the knowledge. In those days, if you have to study medicine, you have to have the knowledge of Sanskrit. Without the knowledge of Sanskrit, you cannot enter a medical college. So all that was the gatekeepers. So this gatekeeping mechanism was removed. English allowed marginalized community to bypass the traditional gatekeepers of knowledge. That is why Ambedkar called English the milk of the tigress. Now let us see, next slide please. Now let us see what led to the first Hindi agitation in 1937 and 1940. In August 1937, C. Rajagopalachari, a Congress chief minister in Madras presidency, announced compulsory Hindi education from class 6 to 8. On 21st April 1938, Hindi was made a compulsory subject in 125 secondary schools across the Madras presidency through a government order. This GO created flutters, and people started claiming their linguistic rights and regional identity and cultural self-respect. Next slide, please. This led to public resistance and agitation. Opposition leaders were Periyar E.V. Ramasamy, Maramalai Adigalar, and the Justice Party. There were statewide protests, fast and picketing. Around 1,200 protesters were arrested. Young activists by name Nadarajan and Thalamuthu died in police custody. And Annadurai, their death really created a big havoc in Tamil Nadu. C.N. Annadurai praised these martyrs that their names will be written with golden letters in the history of Madras. Next slide, please. The first withdrawal happened after the introduction of the Hindi. The first withdrawal happened under the following circumstances. In protest of deploying the Indian troops during the Second World War, the Congress ministry resigned in 1939. The support of Madras sappers were very crucial for the British Army to win the Axis forces. Hence, to win the hearts of the people of Madras presidency, Governor Lord Erskine withdrew the compulsory order that on February 1940, and Hindi became an optional subject along with mathematics, economics, and history. So Hindi became an optional subject. This withdrawal had major historical impact. It strengthened the Dravidian movement, marked the beginning of organized resistance to Hindi imposition, became a defining moment in Tamil linguistic politics and Indian federalism. Next slide, please. The story did not end there. Hindi was reintroduced as a compulsory subject. This led to the Hindi agitation protest once again between 1948 and 50. After independence, Union government encouraged states to expand Hindi education. Pressure increased to integrate Hindi into the school curricula across India. Madras Presidency became a major center of resistance. In Madras Presidency, during 1948-49, during the academic year, Chief Minister Omandur Ramasamy Reddiyar introduced Hindi as a compulsory subject in the secondary schools. Students were required to pass the Hindi examination for promotion to higher studies. Many Tamils viewed this Hindi imposition after independence. Concerns grew over threat to English language and regional identity. Next slide, please. This led to statewide agitations. Leaders who led the agitation were Periyar Ramasamy, C.N. Annadurai, and the Dravida Kalagam. The form of protest were all-party, all anti-Hindi conferences were conducted, black flag demonstrations, school picketing campaigns, and public rallies across the state. Next slide, please. Thousands of protesters were arrested. Activists, a woman activist by name Dhanalakshmi died following a forced evacuation process. So, massive public opposition forced the Madras government to retreat the Hindi imposition once again. In 1950, the compulsory Hindi policy was officially withdrawn. This had the following significance. It strengthened the anti-Hindi movement, reinforced linguistic identity and regional rights. Next slide, please. After independence, the Union government increasingly used Hindi in public infrastructure. So, the resistance shifted from schools to the central government offices. Language politics entered the public spaces and transportation network. Dravida Munnetra Kalagam organized state protest and volunteers targeted railway stations, post offices, milestones, and government buildings. Because no one knows how to read Hindi, and you are writing in Hindi for whom? So this was a sentiment. So Hindi letters and signboards were erased or blackened using tar and black paints. Protesters demanded equal respect for Tamil language and identity. Next slide, please. On July 1953, DMK launched a major protest at Dalmiapuram railway station. You know Dalmia had a cement factory in Kallakudi. But they have not named the railway station as Kallakudi. Instead, they named it as Dalmiapuram. So, the Hindi name Dalmiapuram, they wanted to be replaced with their own Tamil village name Kallakudi. The protest was led by M. Karunanidhi, who later became the chief minister. Next slide, please. Protesters lay down on the railway tracks to stop trains. Severe police actions followed. Karunanidhi and several activists were arrested and imprisoned. The agitation strengthened the DMK's public image. Kallakudi became the powerful symbol of Tamil linguistic resistance. The movement transformed the language politics into political force in Tamil Nadu. Next slide, please. Language tension intensified in 1959 as the report of the Parliamentary Official Language Committee report was released. As per the release, it strongly recommended replacing English with Hindi by 1965. Non-Hindi speaking states feared administrative cultural dominations. People of Madras state viewed this move as a threat to the linguistic equality, regional identity, and federal balance. Next slide, please. Dravida Munnetra Kalagam, that is DMK, formed the Anti-Hindi Agitation Committee in 1960. Massive public conferences, protests were organized across Madras state. Jawaharlal Nehru assured the parliament that English would continue as long as non-Hindi speaking states desired it. The assurance temporarily reduced public anger and fear. Next slide, please. The Official Language Act was passed in 1963. The act stated English may continue instead of shall continue. This gave rise to agitation once again. Many in Madras state saw this as a betrayal of Nehru's assurance and the promise. And they considered it is an hidden attempt to impose Hindi permanently. Anxiety and protest intensified as January 26, 1965 was approaching. Next slide, please. On January 26, 1965, Hindi legally became the sole official language of the Union. Tamil Nadu erupted into student-led protests, riots, strikes, and self-immolations. The agitation lasted for 2 months. Congress dominance, because of this, the Congress dominance in Tamil Nadu collapsed permanently. The movement paved way for the electoral victory of DMK in 1967. This led to the reinforcement of Indian federalism, ensured the continued use of English in administration. Because a defining moment of modern Tamil political history. On the eve of this, how you need to know how this has happened. On the eve of 26 January 1965, Keelappanur Chinnaswamy, a 27-year-old person from Tiruchi district, committed self-immolation in the Tiruchi railway station. His final words were, "Death to Hindi, may Tamil flourish," and he died. His martyrdom was followed by other people like Sivalingam and Aranganathan. Heavy police action led to the deployment of paramilitary forces. Official reports recorded that there were 70 deaths, but unofficial estimates exceeded 500. The unofficial deaths names include Ayyambalayam Veerappan, Keerappanur Chinnachami, Keeranur Muthu, Kodambakam Sivalingam, Mayavaram Sarangabani, Satyamangalam Muthu, and Virhambakam Aranganathan. These martyrs became an enduring symbol in Tamil linguistic resistance and national identity. Next slide, please. Finally, responding to the people's sentiments, Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri agreed to continue English as an associate language of India. The anti-Hindi agitation permanently transformed Indian politics and ensured continued use of English. It weakened Congress dominance in Tamil Nadu because after 1967, only 20 days back, they have come to the ministry. Otherwise, they were kept away from power because of this. It strengthened the Dravidian movements, established two-language policy, and reinforced Indian federalism. Most importantly, they demonstrated that forced cultural uniformity would destabilize a nation itself. Next slide, please. Ambedkar famously observed, one state, one language may be acceptable, but one language, one state should not be. That was Ambedkar's words. He supported linguistic states, mother tongue education, and protection of cultural identity. Taking clue from Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Potti Sri Ramalu fast to death. This led to the creation of Andhra Pradesh in 1953 from Madras state. This marked the beginning of linguistic reorganization. Next slide, please. Next slide. I think next slide. Yeah. So this was the Madras, the red one is the Madras presidency, and the blue one is the Andhra state. In 1953, India reorganized internal boundaries based on largely on languages with enactment of the State Reorganization Act. Madras state, sir, next slide. Madras state eventually became predominantly Tamil speaking. Now let us see the history, how the name Madras has become Tamil Nadu. One K.P. Sangarlinganar fasted demanding renaming Madras state into Tamil Nadu. He died after 76 days of fasting. Finally, in 1969, the state was formally renamed Tamil Nadu. Next slide, please. And similarly, while this was happening in Maharashtra also, similar movement happened. Samyukta Maharashtra movement demanded a separate Marathi-speaking states. The key issue was Mumbai. The movement insisted that Mumbai belonged to Maharashtra historically, culturally, and geographically. The movements united the socialist, communist, reformers, writers, and trade unions. Under one banner, the important leaders including S.M. Joshi, Shripad Dange, Acharya Atre, and Prabodhar Thackeray, and Senapat Bapat, they all participated. Next slide, please. In 1956, police firing killed 106 protesters during the movement. Finally, Maharashtra was created on 1st May 1960. The Flora Fountain was later renamed as Hututma Chowk, the Martyr Square. The continuation of English, this is very important, please listen. The continuation of English produced enormous economic advantages for India. When India liberalized its economy in 1991, multinational companies invested heavily in India because they found large chunk of population speaking English. IT companies expanded rapidly and India emerged as a global technological hub. Companies such as Infosys, Tata Consultancy Service, Wipro, HCL Tech benefited immensely from India's English-speaking workforce. These English-speaking Indian technocrats not only went as technical experts, they also occupied great positions like CEOs. the name includes Satya Nadalla, Sundar Pichai, Arvind Krishna, Satanu Narayan, Neil Mohan and Nilkesh Arora. Except Neil Arora, all of them were from South who had their basic education in their respective mother tongue. Sundar Pichai is my colleague's son, and I know right from the time he did his 8th standard, I have guided him, and so they all studied in Tamil medium, and even now, even after getting education in IIT Gorakhpur, he cannot speak Hindi. He can only speak Tamil and English. This demonstrates how English became an instrument of global participation rather than merely a colonial residue. Because many people say, oh, English is a British language, so we should get rid of that. That is not the case. English is a global language where you can establish yourself. Next slide, please. 3-language formula created asymmetry in many Hindi-speaking states. Southern languages are rarely taught seriously, and other states are expected to learn Hindi compulsorily. This created unequal linguistic burdens, education overloads, and structural imbalance. As a developmental psychology, my view is children should not be excessively burdened with multiple compulsory language when they must simultaneously master science, mathematics, and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence. Next slide, please. When language disappears, culture disappears. Several languages and identities have weakened due to linguistic centralization. For example, Bundali, Bagali, Billi, Gondi, Kuruk, Garwali, Kumani have almost reduced to a dialect under the administrative language centralization. History itself teaches the importance of linguistic dignity. Pakistan was created in 1947 with religious identity. But in 1971, Bangladesh emerged as because linguistic identity was ignored. Attempts to impose Urdu upon Bengali speaking contributed directly to the national rupture. Language is therefore not a minor issue. Toying with language is like playing with fire. Next slide, please. India may require practical link language, but the link language must never be a language of domination. English today functions relatively naturally because it does not belong to any particular region of India. Because India, there is no people in India whose mother tongue is English. It avoids internal linguistic hierarchy. Several multilingual democracies provided important lessons. Switzerland protects multiple language education. Canada balances between English and French. Belgium practices linguistic federalism. But in contrast, a decade ago or 20 years back, Sri Lanka introduced Singhala-only policy, which contributed to the ethnic conflict and instability. This demonstrates the dangers of linguistic majoritarianism. Today, language inequality also exists in digital worlds. Many marginalized Indian languages suffer from inadequate Unicode support. For example, Gondi language does not have a Unicode, and poor artificial intelligence integration in IT, and limited OTT representation. There are a lot of Bhojpuri, Marathi films are coming, but they don't get represented in OTT platform, and technical neglect. This raises an urgent question: Will all Indians survive equally in the digital age? Solution is not uniformity. The solution is dignified multilingualism. Next slide, please. India requires genuine multilingualism, equal respect for all languages, strong state language protection, translation infrastructure, multilingual recruitment system, reciprocal language learning, and technical investment in all languages. Here you look at this gadget. It's a very simple gadget, like a mobile-like structure. If I speak in Tamil, it will give the message in Marathi. And if you speak in Marathi, it will give the message to me in Tamil. So I go to a bank. Just to go to bank, I need not learn Hindi. I can speak in my mother tongue, and the person who is sitting, if he is a Bhojpuri man, he will hear it in Bhojpuri. So only you have to do only investment in these things. So technology advancement gives you that sort of a thing. See, even this slides, I do not know Marathi, but I made the Marathi slides. This is the technological advancement that we have. So India lies not in make everyone speak one language. Its strength lies in ensuring every language can live with dignity. The assertion of Tamil identity and assertion of Marathi identity both emerge from same federal principle. Every people have a right to preserve their language, culture, and historical memory. Unity is essential, but unity must never be confused with uniformity. Thank you.